In this case, I think we can make everyone happy. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Kristen, and this is my little corner of the interwebs where I come at you every week or every other week and share what I've been making, primarily knitting. We do lots of sewing, lots of crochet, lots of quilting. We dive down many different rabbit holes here on this channel. And if you're new, hello, welcome. If you haven't already, well, I'm not gonna ask you, if you're new here, I'm not gonna ask you to like and subscribe because you haven't experienced a full episode yet. Hold that thought. I'm gonna wait until the end of the episode to ask you to like and subscribe. Anyway, I digress. This week I thought I would do something that I haven't done in quite some time, and that is go through my Ravelry queue and yeah, see what's on it, let you know what I'm thinking about casting on. And yeah, this time I'm actually going to be covering both knit and crochet. So what I'm going to do is just go through my queue and mention all the knitting patterns and then go back and mention all the crochet patterns, just in case you are only here for the knitting content and those of you that are here for the crochet content, or the best of both worlds, you know, in this case, I think we can make everyone happy. So, not always possible. Before I get into that, let's talk about Margot the Mannequin. This week, she is wearing my Smocket Shawl, another pattern by Stephen West. Guys, yeah, I love Stephen West patterns. They are just so fun to knit. However, when it comes to wearability, me personally, I don't wear many of the Stephen West shawls or sweaters that I knit. I'm in it for the fun of playing with different colors and trying different stitch patterns. And you know, his patterns are just so engaging and so fun. And yeah, I'm completely here for it. But 9 out of 10, I rarely wear the finished object, unfortunately. It's just not my style. But I will say the Smocket Shawl probably is one of my most worn shawls that he designed. And this one and the Exploration Station, which I'll talk about it in another episode. I've talked about it at length in previous episodes, but the Smocket Shawl, I mean, such a pleasure to knit. Very, very simple. I mean, I would say it's one of his less involved patterns. It's all just increasing and decreasing garter stitch rib. And then the very last step, you're knitting this very intricate, fun, again, a very simple border, but yeah, just very easy to memorize, relaxing, highly recommend it. And I knit it using 3 different colorways. The first colorway that I use, the lightest one, is by La Bien-Aimée. I'm blanking on the colorway name because I must have knit this about 4 years ago already. And let me see, the medium shade colorway is by Skein Queen. And the darkest one is Woolen Rabbit in her, let me see, what is it? Chocolate Chambord colorway. So yeah, really beautiful colors that play really well together. The pattern itself calls for a fade, and if you know me, I'm not really into fades. I don't know, I just see colors that go together and I put them together. I don't worry too much if they fade, but I just really like the way that these colors play together. And even though there's like an abrupt end to when the colors change, I'm completely fine with that. Just the way that the shawl drapes. I mean, it's a schlanket for sure. And the way that it drapes, I feel like it conceals all those abrupt changes. So anyway, that's the method behind my madness. So anyway, that's what Margot the Mannequin's wearing this week. I am wearing a store-bought sweater. Like, honestly, guys, spring is here. The weather has just been nuts. It's been like 80 degrees Fahrenheit, bordering 90, and then this past week it's just been back down to like 40 up to 70. I have no idea what's going on, other than I packed most of my sweaters, my hand knits, and you know, most of my sweaters away for the season, and this is one of the only sweaters that I've seem to have left out. Going back to my Ravelry queue, let's find out what's on here. And to start, we're going to start with knitting. And let's see, And yeah, while I do have a lot of projects on here, I'm not going to go through all of them, just the ones that, you know, I genuinely want to cast on. If I find a fade, if I, by some miracle, compile a fade for myself, I could totally see myself casting on this dip dye cashmere S-Yal. S-J-A-L, is that S-Yal? Sial? Am I pronouncing that right? I have no idea, I'm so sorry. But it's by Camilla, another one of my favorite designers. And yeah, it's just a very simple crescent-shaped shawl with a delicate, simple lace border. Yeah, I mean, I could totally see dyeing up my Poe colorway, Weep and Grim, and knitting this. I mean, that would be a no-brainer. And it's just so simple, so understated, and something that I could totally see myself wearing. Yeah, lace, it calls for lace weight yarn, but I mean, it's a shawl. Gauge really doesn't matter when it comes to shawls, in my humble opinion. Oh, here's another one, Satellite by Andrea Mowry. And this one, is it brioche? Yes, okay. So again, another very simple, understated pattern. Brioche, garter stitch, some interesting construction. I mean, sign me up. And lately, I will admit, I have been craving a little bit of brioche. Not the complicated kind, but just a good, simple, basic brioche. That's, yeah, charts my brain just can't handle at the moment. Yeah, just not feeling the brioche charts right now, but simple, basic, straightforward brioche, I'm so here for. And again, just lots of stripes, color play, and asymmetrical triangular shaping. Beautiful, beautiful. Oh, yeah, I could totally see knitting this for the next cold season. And this is the Wednesday sweater by Petiteknit. Another one of my, like, I've recently, Margot the Mannequin was wearing my no frills pullover for a couple weeks. It's right over there, actually. Loved knitting that pattern. It's so simple, easy, mindless autopilot. I am a huge fan of petite knit when it comes to that. So yeah, this sweater, I could totally see myself casting on. It's just an oversized, that ticks a box, oversized sweater with a giant cozy turtleneck. And yeah, you know, solid color, big ribbed hem, split ribbed hem, drop shoulders. I mean, where do I sign up? Yeah. Definitely want to knit that at some point. Pressed Flowers by Amy Christoffers. I mean, this pattern, I've seen so many beautiful versions of this online, but haven't felt compelled to cast one on or add it to my queue. I think because at the time when I saw these popping up on my Instagram feed, I really wasn't in the mindset or mood to knit shawls, because honestly, I have enough shawls at this point, but you know, summer's here, and what else? What else are we gonna knit on? I'm not knitting socks at the moment. You know, sure, I could cast on sweaters and knit on them, but you know, if I'm at the beach or something, or in a warmer climate and it's hot out and I feel like knitting, I'm not gonna pull out a sweater. I'm gonna probably want to knit on something a little more lightweight, and I think this shawl would be great for that. I mean, shawls in general are just great for, you know, for knitting during the summer. And I could totally see myself casting this on with my hand-dyed yarn, Full & Fine Yarns, shameless self-plug. I should probably talk about the shawl, what it looks like, in case you're, you know, not looking at the screen, but it is a triangular shaped shawl, and it does have like these really beautiful colorwork flowers all throughout, like staggered. And looking at it, I believe it might be mosaic knitting, which is a type of colorwork technique where, like brioche, you're knitting each row twice. Except for the first pass, you're knitting with one colorway, slipping the stitches that you're not knitting, and then going back, slipping your stitches back, and then knitting with the other colorway and slipping with the stitches that you've already knit, if that makes any sense. This is a technique that I've not really employed, or I haven't really knit many, if at all, any mosaic knitting patterns, but this could be a very good first. Am I even correct in thinking that it's mosaic knitting? It doesn't really, yes, it is, okay. Stitch pattern is charted. You must be comfortable working from charts. The pattern includes setup rows, chart written out, line by line, to help those new to mosaic knitting or charts. So that is good to know, but yeah, just super pretty. And next up is another shawl pattern by one of my favorite knitwear designers, Lesley Robinson of Knit Graffiti. She designed the Mauveless shawl. I'm going to say Mauveless or Mauveless. Potato, tomato, whatever. I'm going to say Mauveless. And yeah, just the name itself. My gosh, you guys, the name. Love the color mauve. And this is a three colorway brioche shawl pattern, triangular shaped. It alternates between knitted lace and brioche. Super, super pretty. And one of you lovely viewers knit one out of my hand-dyed yarns, Full & Fine Yarns, and chef's kiss, it is stunning. Totally makes me want to knit one myself. But if you recall what I said a couple of patterns ago, I was like, not really feeling the intricate brioche. So it's on my queue. for one of those days when I'm just like, yes, gimme the hardcore intricate brioche. Lesley and Robinson style, please. The Morning Sunshine by Stephanie Lotven. What I love about this pattern is that it looks like a really great stash buster and really quick to whip up, because like any stripy pattern, I feel like just one more row, one more row, one more row. This one, because it's divided into sections of different textures and lace patterns, it could just easily be one more section, one more section, one more section. And if you knit one section a day, you could have an FO in 5-6 days. I mean, easy. And talk about a great gift. I mean, come the holidays, this pattern, yeah, definitely staying on my queue. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Paula, I'm gonna totally butcher your last name. I'm so sorry if you're watching. Rendado by Paula Pereira. I'm so sorry if I just butchered that. But I've actually met Paula briefly, definitely before the pandemic, at Brooklyn General. She was there and knitting, and I was there with friends, and we were chatting. Such a lovely, lovely person. My goodness. Paula, if you ever had the chance to meet her, she's wonderful. Admittedly, I've yet to cast on one of her patterns. I'm a little embarrassed because, yeah, her patterns are beautiful, guys. And this one in particular, the Rendado, is actually going to be published in Textured Knits. It's going to be published by Laine magazine, their publishing company. I don't know when it's supposed to come out. Let me see, I'll click on the link over here. It's not published yet, but it's available for pre-order through Laine Publishing. So I'll link to it down below. But yeah, you can pre-order it now. It's for $42 USD, and so many beautiful, beautiful patterns by Paula. And I'm avoiding saying your last name because I truly do not want to butcher it. But this pattern in particular that's going to be featured in that pattern book, Rendado, is, I mean, first of all, the color of the yarn. I believe it's from Walk Collection. Again, another asymmetrical triangular shawl, but beautiful lace, textured lace, and it could almost be crochet, dare I say. It's, so I don't even know how to describe it. It's so pretty. Paula, I don't know if you're watching, but beautiful pattern. All right, so that's what's on my queue for knitwear. Oh no, last but not least, the Nightshade Society by Tristan of Dragon Hoard Designs. Guys, first of all, let me say, girls at the Yarn Cafe, Tristan and Christy, I love you guys. I don't know if you're watching, but you know, every time we go to yarn festivals, we always meet up. They're in Utah. I'm here in New York, so unfortunately we don't get to hang out. But when we do, when our paths do cross, it's just kind of like, oh, I wish I could hang out longer with you guys. You are awesome, and I have a funny feeling that we would have the best time together. But let me tell you, Tristan, I don't know how she does it, but she designs the most beautiful sweaters, and like all of her knits are just so beautiful. Why I haven't cast on any of them yet is beyond me. I'm sorry, Tristan. I will get around to it. And this pattern in particular has very, very Kristen Victorian vibes. And it's a cropped sweater. It has kind of like a high neckline, not too high. I wouldn't, mock turtleneck maybe? Barely there turtleneck. But these really elaborate lace sleeves, I mean, I need to cast this on soon. So anyway, do check that out. And yeah, I was saving the best for last, clearly, because stunning, absolutely stunning. Okay, now let's backtrack and talk about crochet patterns, shall we? I shouldn't even be looking at these because we all know Kristen has a lot of unfinished crochet projects right now. So what am I, yeah, my fruit garden blanket, yeah, that I need to finish. That is first and foremost a priority. And what else? Oh yeah, my mulberry afghan, that's gotta be finished. And yeah, but clearly I just keep adding to the list. So I'll shut up now and let's just talk patterns. So the Kia Cardigan by Rachel Meisner? Yes, Rachel Meisner. I love this cardigan. I mean, I actually have two cardigans in the same exact style that I purchased from Target that I wear all the time interchangeably. And I know for a fact if I make this cardigan, it's gonna get a lot of love. And yeah, it actually calls for Aran weight yarn. It's just got a really nice, like, I would say popcorn, not waffle, but like bobbly popcorn texture to it, which I love. Drop sleeves. Yeah, gosh. And it calls for Aran weight yarn, which I do have in my stash that I kind of have to use up because it's just sitting there. I bought it for another project that I never came to fruition. Anyway, Chasing Summer. It's just a very simple camisole, crochet camisole. It's, dare I say, very on trend, something that you could probably find in a store. I've definitely seen camisoles in this style, and yeah, I totally want one for myself. I mean, I could just picture chucking it over a pair of jean shorts during the summer, especially knit out of like a linen or a cotton type yarn. The pattern itself is knit out of Knit Picks Cotton, which is DK weight, which is beautiful. And did I mention, yeah, it's a pattern, Chasing Summer by Janine Myska. I think I forgot to mention who designed it. I'm a professional, guys. Not only that, it looks incredibly fast to make. I mean, I could probably crank one of these out in a weekend. I mean, let's see if I can do it, shall we? Ooh, the Havana Shawl by Tinna, and the last names I'm gonna butcher. I'm the queen of butchering names, my friends, and I sincerely apologize. When I mentioned that I was getting into crochet, many of you have pointed me in this designer's direction, especially when I mentioned that I got into Tunisian crochet, because while her designs aren't specifically Tunisian crochet, they are in fact mosaic crochet. Another, again, me and mosaic, knitting and crochet, our paths have not crossed yet, but I have a feeling they will very soon. So this pattern, I feel like once I'm done with my fruit garden blanket, because that's that is taking the cake right now as far as advanced techniques, this is gonna be the next mountain that I climb, if you will. So this pattern, again, a triangular shawl, mosaic crochet, so beautiful. I mean, lots and lots of color play in this to be had, for sure. Yeah, lots of texture as well. I mean, again, sign me up. I'm here for it. Oh yes, the Conde Pullover by Nomad Stitches. I did cast this on secretly on the DL, and while I did finish knitting the neckline, I gave up on it because I wasn't liking the yarn or the drape. But this is another crochet garment, and looking at it from afar, you think that it's a simple pullover with a lace yoke, but it is all crochet. It is a seamless top-down round yoke pullover, which allows for customization and comfort. It's a lightweight fabric, it's perfect for keeping warm and layering up during colder months. Love it, love it. And as we know, crochet loves to gobble up yarn, so the yardage in here is relatively significant. So, you know, for even the small, it's gonna be over 1,200 yards. Not sure how much that, 1,150 meters, if you will. So yeah, just a really fun pattern that I'm looking forward to casting on. This next one is by Woolen Pine. It's called the Crochet Sea Glass Tee. They also have another pattern, the knitted version of the Sea Glass Tee, and this looks like such a fun stash buster. I mean, yeah, again, just a very simple round yoke sweater. I think it's only made up of, if I had to guess, looking at it, just single crochet stitches in the round. I mean, so pretty. And it also calls for fingering weight yarn. So yeah, perfect stash buster. This pattern I'm actually thinking about casting on very soon. It's actually a free pattern. Hennessey by Rachel Sogard. Again, a very basic granny square blanket. It's giving me very quilt vibes with the sashing, if that makes any sense. And I do have a color palette picked out that I think would be perfect for it. So anyway, yeah, this pattern again is free. It comes in several different languages, which is great. Fingering weight yarn. So again, if you're looking for a stash busting project, I could see this being one. Yeah, I mean, again, it's free. What are you waiting for? Okay, so as far as languages, this pattern comes in Danish, English, and Deutsch, so German. So in case you were thinking about casting it on, it comes in those 3 languages. Yay! So those are the knitting and crochet patterns currently on my Ravelry queue that I am itching to cast on. But we'll see how long I can hold out before I cast on the next new and shiny. All right, my friends, I'm gonna wrap things up. Thank you so much, as always, for hanging out with me. If you're new here and you've made it this far, thank you. While you're at it, why don't you go ahead and consider liking and subscribing down below, because I am putting out videos for your viewing pleasure on a regular basis. And if you'd like to support this channel, you can do that by becoming a member. Just click the join button down below this video or on the main homepage. And for the price of a monthly fancy schmancy cup of coffee, you can unlock some bonus features from yours truly. I recently started, instead of doing a bonus vlog every Monday, I've just started doing spontaneous kind of behind the scene check-ins, if you will. I'm having a lot of fun experimenting with just like these mini check-ins, and it seems like a lot of the members are enjoying them as well. So yeah, anyway, consider becoming a member. You get to unlock those features and some other fun stuff. And until the next video, have an awesome weekend.